Hello my Lunarian Dark Army fans, Goblins, Dragons and everyone. In this one we're gonna take a look at every single hero, understanding them and explaining every single abilities of them. So watch till the end and let's begin. Starting off with the first hero in the game, Westpo. Westpo is gonna be one of the free heroes which we will be able to play, and as per the news and info, everyone has confirmed that Westpo will be a pretty great hero, actually an A tier hero, which makes him one of the greatest hero possible. I have made a complete video dedicated to Westpo and Whan, so I won't discuss much about in this one, although he has few abilities which has ricochet attack, super abilities similar to Erdune from Kingdom of Origins, and few other types of arrows which he shoots. Whan will be the second one over here. She is gonna be really interesting to see, as she seems to be the tank or the aggressor. She's like a mediocre type of hero, I would say. She has Dark Knight as a super and few abilities which even helps her one shot the enemy or deal a huge amount of damage. You could say not really one shot, so yes, that's pretty interesting one. I have also included that in the second video, and now we're gonna take a look at the heroes which are being completely explained. Everyone's favorite Anyna. Now she is very powerful as per what we have seen. She has a good range, and as per we know, she brings back Dante as her super, which is even more interesting to see, as it's basically Dante as a ghost, but he shoots a lot more faster than what he used to do in previous games, I would say. And she deals pretty great damage, pretty great abilities, I would say. But yes, one of the best heroes out there, I would say. Theron. Now this is a hero which Dev said is kind of the weakest, I would say, but I saw him and I think he's pretty much okay. He doesn't seem to be worst, to be honest. I think he's doing pretty great with his entire power. He's more like the crowd control type of hero you would like to use as per his super ability, I would say, and how he attacks. He just multiplies or makes a clone of himself and even attacks like so as his powerful ability, and somewhat like so he can actually trap enemies and takes them into another dimension while they're getting dealt by damage or something. Wait, he actually even gives even more range to nearby towers for a few seconds, so pretty much a support or crowd control hero. You won't use him as a tank or as an aggressive hero. Drew is gonna be our next hero we're gonna take a look at. I would say he's pretty great. As per what we have seen, he's a support hero. He's not much of a person who would go for into aggression like Cosmire or I would say Bronn, I guess, although we can see this entire hero as a support. Moreover, if you want to ask me, as per his abilities and stuff, and I would be honest, he's one of the adorable characters I could take a look at. And not only that, his voice is pretty great. Like, I would be honest on that. Although we shouldn't underestimate him with the damage, because we also saw him dealing pretty great amount of damage at a certain point as his ability. So yes, never underestimate by the looks. Grimson being our next hero, a person who was actually tend to be a weapon for the cult, but he is helping us, so we are great to have him on our side. So I would be honest, he seems to be pretty interesting. He's like not much tanky, but he turns himself into a weapon, so more of a melee character. If I want to remind a few melee characters here and there, Varric is gonna be one of them. Like, if you just think about it, he's not like the best tank, but he also deals good damage. So yes, that's something like so. He has pretty cool abilities, like he just turns into a claw and eats the entire enemies. It's pretty interesting to see him like that, although his super is also pretty great, as it is more of a crowd control, I would say, but not always working in some situations. But although I feel like it's really great, so yes. Tauris being one of the most interesting one, to be honest. Like, he's a huge man out there, and not only that, he is actually the constructor of the buildings, we would say, the head constructor, we would say, and he is a great tank and a crowd control unit, we would say, and he seems to be dealing damage, of course. So you could use him in situations where you need crowd control, I would say. Although I would say he is pretty slow, and that's one of the biggest downfall to him. Like, he's one of the slowest heroes out of all, I would say. Although he actually just spawns up like a small tower which is not completely built or something like so, which actually participates as a part, and he also spawns in few workers here and there, which is very interesting to see. So I would say he's good, but I don't think it's gonna be at the top of my list. And Tauris Super is pretty interesting. Like, it just falls off a construction thing, it just falls on the ground, dealing damage and stun to the enemy, so it's pretty okay, I guess. Warhead. Now this is a hero I was always fond of or curious about. Like, let's just take a look at the entire character design. It's pretty great, and not only that, he's one of the characters who's tanky, a great damage dealer, and not only that, he is good with the speed. He can travel through map a lot more fast. He's a mean big machine, as they said it, and it's amazing how his super works out in this entire situation, we could say, because if you just think about it, he just spawns in a big train which deals pretty great damage with fire effect on the damage with them. So it's pretty interesting to see it like working like so. I'm really liking that, how it actually works. Like, he just good speed, good damage, tankiness, crowd control, most of the things a good hero requires, I would say. Or Narco, the Goblin brothers, I would say, cousins. So yes, this tower is very interesting. It has actually one of the best advantages, which is the range. Although it also has its bad side, I would say. It's just kind of slow. I would say as slow as Tauris, but yes, it's pretty okay. And I don't think the speed actually allows it that much as a difficulty, I would say, because it has a huge range. You could just put him in a mid lane, it would be actually attacking on both sides. Although what I feel like personally is its super. I think its super is very basic, and I don't think it has huge possibilities out there which could help you out in most of the situations. Although it is a good one, I'm not saying it's a bad, but although I think I am kind of feeling like his super might make him not as overpowered, and I think that's actually exactly what actually is meant to balance him, I guess. Bronn is gonna be our next hero. Now I'm gonna be a big fan of this one, as it's exactly how I like to use heroes. I always love aggression based comps or towers or heroes, I would say, which doesn't require any kind of big defense or support. It's just pure aggression, melt them before they get to you, and that's the reason why I like this hero. Bronn is gonna be such a great one. Let's just say it has pretty great range, I would say. It's not as far, I would say, but also yes, he shoots bomb. The Griffin is actually just dealing damage to the enemies too. Not only that, he actually deals pretty great damage. Let's say his super deals even more damage. He spawns in 2 eagles, I guess, which deals constant damage until they despawn for a few seconds here and there. There is fire damage, there is a normal ammo shoot from his gun, I would say. It's such a great one out there, I would say. I really love this hero, and I think it's gonna be in my top 5 list, or even top 3. This is gonna be my top 3rd, I would be honest. Coming to the dragons, Luminer is gonna be our Linarian sided dragon, I would say. He's pretty great, I'm gonna be honest. I love dragons, I'm a dragon user. No matter what game it is, I always rely on dragons, because dragons are just too cool, okay? It requires no skill, and you're guaranteed to win. Although I also use others, so don't call me no skill guy, come on. So, getting back to the point, Luminer is gonna be really interesting. As always, dragons are not able to, move as fast as other ones. They're kind of mediocre at speed, I would say, when it comes to traveling from one point to another. Although, Luminer is very different from Cosmire. Luminer is a lot more dependent when it comes to supporting the entire barracks, or even anything like the towers, buffing them and stuff. It gives like shields to the troops, I would say, and it buffs to the tower, and it's more of a support damage dealer. It's not just pure aggression, I would say, where Cosmire is gonna be opposite of that, and that's exact reason why I love Cosmire. The final hero in the game, Cosmire, which is going to be part of the Dark Army and my favorite hero personally. Cosmire is going to be paid hero, I would say, although here we know that Cosmire is going to be getting into very aggressive style players, I would say. He's completely aggression. What he's equal to is aggression. If you search Cosmire on Google, you will find the definition of aggression, I would say. Not really. So yes, his super abilities are pretty great. He just melts things like so good, and his actual ability, Rain of Crystal, even more powerful. Just fires down crystal from the air, which deals so much damage to the opponents. Really love it, and I think it's gonna be the most OP hero in the game. Although with the power strategy, you can conquer the game. Although I don't think the only aggression will work out, as we are only dependent on this. Although I'm gonna try that anyway. If it works, it works. So that is going to be it for this video. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It personally helps me out a ton and keeps me making these videos. It means a lot to me, so please do that with notifications on, and check this video out if you made it till here. I really appreciate it, and it helps me out a ton, so you will enjoy that video one too. So you could just do that, and I'll meet you in the next one. Until then, stay tuned for more Alliance.